Gentlemen, you have received instructions in the dressing rooms. Obey my commands at all times and protect yourselves at all times. The belts are positioned right. Anything below here is a low blow. Shake hands. May the best man win. God bless.
Well, tell us, Semino's kind of making sure they shook hands, but they didn't really, did they?
Well, yeah, but at least they went to the center of the ring and they touched gloves, without any fireworks.
Right.
Save the fight for the bell in the ring when you're ready to fight, when you get paid for it.
All right, they're going to get paid for it here in just a moment. Sultan Ibragimov and Lance Whitaker, two heavyweights in slightly different positions, but both hoping that a win tonight will vault them into contention for a title. Ibragimov for the first time, and Whitaker has been very close before, as Sean mentioned, and not quite gotten there. Here we go in round one. Ibragimov comes out about as aggressively as you can come out, doesn't he?
Yeah, downstairs to the body, don't waste those punches. Ibragimov on the attack. Wow, a lot of these heavyweight fights, they start off slowly, not Ibragimov.
That's refreshing. He's ripping body shots and kind of making Whitaker fight. I mean, he is making Lance Whitaker fight at a certain pace, and I'm sure it's what they want. Great body punches.
And Whitaker came into this fight bone dry, not even a bead of sweat on his body. Sultan trying to catch him cold.
Whitaker slapping with the right hand. A couple of very low blows by Ibragimov.
And you really got to pay attention because of the 6'9" or 6'8" height of Lance Whitaker. You got to pay attention to the low blows. Really raise those punches up there. That was on the belt line. Ibragimov, good combination from Ibragimov.
Whitaker kind of slapping with the right hand. That's always been an issue with him. Ibragimov throwing lots of combinations. That's one of the things that he does that some heavyweights don't. He's throwing more punches than a lot of heavyweights do for 5 or 6 rounds.
You're right. He has busy pace in this first. His opener, catch your opponent cold.
Now Whitaker coming forward, shooting out that short right hand.
And Whitaker looking to slow the pace down a bit. Whitaker knows it's a 12-rounder, plenty of time. The fight doesn't start till after the third, but he has to stay in there. Ibragimov 15 KOs in his 18 wins. He is exciting.
Good straight left hand a moment ago, and that one blocked by Lance Whitaker. Body shot by Ibragimov, who came here to the United States in 2002, relocated here from Russia, and has been working here. Sends Whitaker down. Right hook by Ibragimov.
6, 7, 8.
Big shot, dropped like a shot on the button.
Whitaker smiling, but here comes Ibragimov, and he has landed some big right hand by Whitaker, but it doesn't stop Ibragimov. Another right by Whitaker. We can get that punch in, but how effective is it?
Well, now Ibragimov is backing up.
Hey, if he doesn't land those 2 right hands, Sean, Lance Whitaker's in trouble, but it may have turned this round around a little bit. And you're right, Ibragimov now moving backward after those right hands.
That hurt. It just makes you wilt. When you get hit with a shot that hurts you, it takes your energy. It robs your energy until you get it back.
So with seconds remaining, still a 10-8 round for Ibragimov, and he lands a good straight left hand. Some fireworks here in the very first round. This 12th rounder, another left hand by Ibragimov.
Excellent round. How exciting is this?
That'll do it for a round one filled with plot twists. Listen in.
Okay. All right, now we're warmed up. Now we know what we got in front of us. All right, there's the spit bucket. I want you to keep those hands up extremely high the whole time. All right, don't smile nothing. We're working, baby. Keep pressing them with the jab, and you jab. Push off that back.
What was happening? How exciting was that first round? Was Ibragimov on the attack? Look at these body punches. Then he comes up to the head and just trying to cover up his Whitaker, waiting for the opening. Whitaker walking in, just got cracked. Kind of high on the head over here on the right side, like on the temple, and down went Whitaker. Dropped like a shot, but then it was Whitaker that came back, and he stunned Ibragimov with that punch. There's the same knockdown. Later in the round, it was Whitaker who staggered Ibragimov, and that was a back and forth round, but Whitaker on the canvas in that first.
Yeah, so it'll end up being a 10-8 round for Ibragimov. Actually, more of a straight left from Ibragimov, even though he landed the right hook. Also, the left was what sent Whitaker down. So, an interesting first round to say the least, and Ibragimov continuing his aggressive approach.
And good to see them fired up about this fight. How many fights have we watched, Al, that they are so defensive when they get into a scuffle in the press conference that they don't fight?
Yeah, you're right, and this one certainly has been very, very different.
Heated.
Lance Whitaker, who didn't turn pro until he was 24 years of age, got a late start. He played basketball and football in high school, had about 46 amateur fights, and then made his way into the pro ranks, where he several times has been close to getting shots at a championship match, and always has suffered a loss just before it. And tonight, he's in the fight of his life, obviously, with the Ibragimov. Whitaker for the left hand. He thinks it's a push. They may have tangled up their feet. But no matter, it's the second knockdown of this fight.
It is a knockdown.
Well, let's see if Ibragimov can really press the issue here.
See how close their front feet are?
Yeah.
It was Whitaker who's saying that he stepped on my toe and hit me.
There probably were some punches landed in there, but there also were feet tangled together.
Oh, good cross. Ibragimov fighting from that left-hand style. That left cross coming at you again. So hard to fight those left-handed fighters.
And you know what? Ibragimov throws more combinations than your average heavyweight. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them a little wide, but you know, he's a well-schooled fighter. With the right hook. Backed against the ropes. Torrid pace here in the first 2 rounds of this heavyweight matchup.
You're not kidding. I've not seen Whitaker this hurt this early in a fight before that he's been in. Been hurt late, but never this early.
And a reminder, Whitaker himself landing some pretty good counter right hands. So while he's been knocked down twice and is facing 2 10-8 rounds against him, still he's in the match. Under a minute left to go.
Oh yeah, but
he's
throwing that dangerous right hand. Straight right hand is real effective on a left-handed fighter. And a real wide left hook. The way they stand, they are asking for that punch. Also, look at Ibragimov. When he moves to his left, he crosses his feet right there. Look at that. Even when he moves to his right, he's crossing his feet there. There it is again. See him?
So he's susceptible to a knockdown.
If you get hit when your feet are crossed, where are you going? Your feet are crossed, you have no balance.
So another good round for Ibragimov, though, as he scores a knockdown and controls this round against Lance Whitaker. So he's 4 points ahead after 2 rounds.
Wow.
A mountain for Whitaker to climb.
Listen, I want you to keep your hands real high.
Okay.
Start pressuring them back with that jab.
Okay.
Okay? Start cutting off the ring. Steps over into your left, step over there, left hook to the body, steps over here, right hook to the body. Start closing the gap. Giving this guy too much room to work, and he's getting tricky.
Too much room. They don't want him to have that much room. Look at this knockdown. It's Whitaker on the attack, but look, their feet got tangled. It was the front of the right toe of Ibragimov that kind of stepped on Whitaker's left toe. And down he goes, Whitaker. A little bit of complaining to the referee, but referee's call.
By the way, that's John Bray in the corner of Lance Whitaker, former amateur fighter of great renown. I just saw Chuck Wepner in New York last week, and he, of course, involved in the famous knockdown of Muhammad Ali, in which they allege he stepped on Ali's toe. And this knockdown reminiscent because their feet got tangled. We're into round number 3. Good straight left hand by Ibragimov. Ibragimov starting out at a ridiculously torrid pace. I mean, he is throwing a large number of punches and being very aggressive early in this fight. You hardly ever see a heavyweight start out with this many punches.
Going for a KO, and they have, 200 plus pounds that they're pushing around in that ring.
Good right hand by Whitaker, so he continues now to find a place for that punch.
Whitaker has his moments, and he's looking for that one shot. He's just saying, hold still, Sultan, I'm going to crack you. Hold still, stay right there. Hold on, let me have it.
And you know, in the first round, there's no question Whitaker made an impact with that right hand against Ibragimov. In both of the first 2 rounds, Whitaker down, so those would be 10-8 rounds for Ibragimov. So he has built himself a pretty good lead early in this fight.
But he's not fighting like it. No. Ibragimov is fighting like he's behind.
Here's Whitaker pushing him against the ropes.
Both of them looking to pot shot. Looking for that one big punch.
The jab of Ibragimov, and he throws a nice short right hook inside. Sultan Ibragimov, the 30-year-old from Russia, who is undefeated as a pro. He was a silver medalist in the 2000 Olympic Games. He wants this to be a fight which vaults him to contention. So far, he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, so far in this fight, fighting like he's rushing for a knockout. Rushing to get in the top 10, rushing to be a champion.
Good body work by Ibragimov. Gets a caution, a warning from the referee, Telis Asaminos, about low blows. And interestingly, Whitaker continues to be the aggressor coming forward.
You know, he's kind of plotting though. He's stepping in good combinations.
Great body shot to the body. You know, he's a little wild, but Sultan Ibragimov makes up for that wildness and aggression. It's hard to hit him, Sean, because even if he's throwing wide punches, because he's throwing punches at you.
And Whitaker is so defensive, he's looking not to get hit. He's worried about those knockdowns.
And I'll tell you,
not to get hit, and it's causing him to freeze.
The body work that Ibragimov is doing right now could pay dividends in the coming rounds in this fight. Seconds remaining in round 3. I'm Bob Bernstein along with Sean O'Grady and Nick Charles, and we're very happy to be bringing you what is turning out to be an exciting heavyweight match. Good right hand by Whitaker after Ibragimov had nailed it. So in the final round, straight left by Ibragimov sends Whitaker against the ropes in the final moments of this round.
This is a heavyweight fight. The strength of Whitaker and the speed of Sultan Ibragimov.
What do you want? Come back to the left foot to the back. Win the fight. Brava apreciato. More.
A little bit of a language barrier. Miguel Diaz from Argentina. His native tongue is Spanish. And Ibragimov from Russia. Native tongue, of course, Russian.
Watch the punches. Watch the low blows. Yeah. Referee.
Translating going on in that corner.
No, watch the low blow.
That's great. Miguel trying to make his case with the referee.
Relax. Body fear and then here. That's more, okay? It's more. Water, cut the water.
So Lance Whitaker gets ready to come out for round number 4 in what has turned out to be a very exciting heavyweight matchup.
Clean the water.
Ibragimov in the red trunks and Lance Whitaker in the black. Lance Whitaker 31-3 with 1 draw. Whitaker 18-0 as a professional.
And Lance having his moments. He's got the good power. He's landed it. Ibragimov fights with the combinations.
Whitaker has won 2 fights since he lost to Luan Kresnicki in Germany at a WBO title eliminator. And to his credit, after he lost that, he got active right away. That was earlier this year, and he's been very, very active in getting back into the fray. And at 33, of course, you don't have that much time to waste. Whitaker now pushing Ibragimov against the ropes. Sean, that left hook was the first really good body shot Whitaker's thrown.
Really head-hunting is Whitaker. And he's even talking to Ibragimov. Now, of course, Ibragimov speaks Russian. He's not talking to him. Is that all you got, he says?
I think it's the concept rather than the actual. But Whitaker trying to psych him out and maybe feeling like Ibragimov has hit him with his best shots, and now what more could he have to offer? And now he's going to try and taunt him a little bit.
Well, remember what I said. In championship fights, the fight begins after the 4th round, after the 3rd round. Sultan has so many amateur fights that he learned that 3-round distance, and he has that clock in his head instead of the 12-round distance this fight is scheduled for. It's a different race horse. Big right. Whitaker is so strong. Ibragimov to the body.
When he doesn't slap with that right hand, he can get there now. Against Zuri Lawrence 2 fights ago, he did go. Ibragimov went into the 11th round winning on a TKO, so he's been a longer distance at least once. Right hand a little low by Ibragimov, and he sets such a torrid early pace. We'll be watching him, obviously, as you will see if Ibragimov gets tired.
There's some of that talking. You see his lips moving, Whitaker.
Meanwhile, it's Ibragimov landing the punches right now.
When Lance backs up, he drops his hands. See that?
Under a minute left to go here in round number 4, a round in which Whitaker's done a little better. Whether he's won this round remains to be seen.
Well, he has been the aggressor, but it has been Ibragimov who's throwing the majority of punches.
Verbally, I think we can say Lance has won this round. Under a half minute left to go in round number 4.
Verbally, is that on a different kind of scorecard? I don't have that on the 10-point must.
Well, it's been a lot of fun to watch, that's for sure.
Yeah, it has.
Whitaker down twice in rounds 1 and 2, and round 3 was a wild round.
And really two heavyweights with a lot of ability. Now strength, power is Whitaker. Ibragimov just skillful.
We're in Florida, and Florida's got a lot of big-time celebrities. One of them is with Nick Charles.
Surprised to see Burt Reynolds ringside in Florida. Huge fight fan, Burt. What do you think of this one?
Well, I don't think you can take 8 or 9 punches and then just give one. You know, if you're going to trade last names, he's got a great last name, but he ain't hitting. It's amazing. I've been waiting for this fight all night. And it's not disappointing me. He's disappointing me in the sense that his right hand, it's almost like it's hurt. He's just saving it. Jab, 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 jab. Not throwing it, and it's there. It's wide open. I see Tyson over here who wants a fight with him, and he's saying, I'd like a fight with him right now.
Oh, really? Hey, we'd pay it. We'll stay on the air a little bit longer for that. Burt, I got to ask you ever think of doing a boxing movie?
I used to. I know this is going to make people crazy, but I was offered Rocky, and I said, I can't do it. This has got to be Sly, and I'm glad I said that.
Some things work out, some don't, but we're glad Burt Reynolds is with us. Thank you, Burt.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Nick. Burt Reynolds, a great guy and big boxing fan.
Great guy.
Who enjoys this sport immensely, and he was a great athlete at Florida State.
He was fantastic.
Terrific running back. All right, and he's
been in like every movie there's ever can make a movie about anything. He's been in that. He's been in that movie, that kind of movie.
Keen analysis of this one. He sees the Whitaker right hand available and wants him to throw it. Well, we're heading into the 5th round here, and it continues to be a very quick pace, especially by Sultan Ibragimov, working the body. And will that pay dividends as this fight wears on?
You better will. Body shots accumulate. You can shake off, clear the cobwebs of a headshot. With the body shot, one augments the next.
Whitaker smiling and coming forward. There he got a nice right hand in.
Whitaker just biding his time. He's looking for that one big opening. He wants to have one of those clean, one-punch knockouts.
Sean, do you get the feeling? Whitaker feels like he can hurt Ibragimov with that right hand from that first round?
No doubt he can. You know what? That told him a lot. That told Whitaker, all right, I hurt you. I got you kind of in a little bit of control. I just got to get my shot off again. And he's going to wait for Ibragimov to get confident and to rush at him again like he did in that first.
Now, there are fewer punches coming from Ibragimov, and his hands are a little lower. He pushes Sultan back. The right hand from Whitaker.
See that right, that left hook to the body will kill a right hand. It'll stop your opponent from throwing that. That's what Ibragimov is trying to use. Utilize a left hook to the body over there where the liver is on the right side of your body, and it'll make your right hand slower, and you'll have trouble lifting up the hand.
Certainly the best round of the fight so far for Whitaker. And Whitaker starting to use his own jab a little bit as Ibragimov continues to move.
And Ibragimov getting tired, slowing down a bit. Is the tide of this fight changing?
Good left hand by Ibragimov and another body punch, but Whitaker just talking to him.
Talking doesn't score points.
Okay, baby. Ibragimov, as I mentioned, went into the 11th round 2 fights ago against Zuri Lawrence, won by a TKO in the 11th, so But how can you set this quick a pace early and not get a little tired? We'll see if we talked earlier about second wins, whether one will come to Ibragimov.
Well, Ibragimov has been boxing his whole life. I mean, he fought in the Felix Savan in the amateurs and the current gold medalist, Ordinaire Solis, 2000 silver medalist in the Olympics. He was a great fighter. Look at this. Both of them trading blows.
So, good fifth round, as were the first four. The clock tickens.
Very good.
Sultan, never traba. 1, 2, okay?
Take deep breaths. Panama said take deep breaths. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Water on the head, Panama said.
1, 2,
Mario.
3.
Water on the head, Panama.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
Another one. Keep moving. Come on. Water on the head.
Well, the right hand has been the punch that's done the damage for Lance Whitaker. And look at that. Against the southpaw fighters, you're taught to use that right hand. And he did. Look, he's not landing it on the chin. It's kind of high on the head. And a little bit of wobble from Ibragimov. Ibragimov's tough. Oh, he's tough.
Seconds out.
Looks a bit winded, though. Tide may be turning.
We head into round number 6 of this heavyweight encounter. Lance Whitaker, the 33-year-old in the black trunks. Sultan Ibragimov in the red trunks. What would your unofficial scoring be, Sean? How would you? Sean's going to tally it up and take a look at what he sees this fight as.
Well, 48-44 for Ibragimov. I think the last couple of rounds, the tide has shifted, and I think Whitaker coming back. He's landing that right hand. He is forcing the action. Whitaker's been coming forward most of this fight, but he's been coming forward effectively the last couple of rounds.
His last fight, Ibragimov beat Friday Ahunanya.
Was that on a Thursday?
Exactly, it was.
I knew you were going to say that.
It was a stoppage in the 9th round. They went to the scorecards. Now, interestingly, Whitaker also fought Ahunanya, and he TKO'd him in the 5th round. So that's one common opponent for these two fighters. Now, for all we can say about Ibragimov punching less, Whitaker isn't exactly throwing a lot of punches himself. His feeling is he's going to land that one big right hand. But this has been a pretty good round so far for Ibragimov. He's been active.
And Ibragimov moving to his right, away from the power of the right hand. He's hurt.
It was apparently a straight left hand as Ibragimov stepped to the left. Third knockdown of Lance Whitaker in this fight. But this time he was more hurt, and it's also earlier in the round.
And he fell all the way across the ring, 6'8", and he was laid out there. He went from one side of the ring to the other.
Quick straight left hands by Ibragimov.
Ibragimov knows it. The window's open.
Whitaker showing some grit here, and Ibragimov rightfully showing a little respect because he's been hit with some big right hands by Whitaker. This would be the third 10-8 round in this fight, so that would be a big edge for Ibragimov.
And a good body attack from Ibragimov. You know, that'll make your opponent's punches subside.
Well, Lance Whitaker looks like he might be past the worst of this, amazingly. Because not only was he knocked down, but Ibragimov landed several excellent straight lefts after that.
You know, he's got a lot of heart. Lance Whitaker fights with a lot of heart. Crowd chanting Sultan.
So it looks like looks like Lance Whitaker will get through round 6. He's knocked down with about a minute and a half left in the round, right at the midway point of the round, and yet he's still here at the end of round 6. He's reached the halfway point.
Chin. Understand what I'm saying?
Well,
That's what you got to do.
right on the bridge of the nose, they're
That's
working
where I
on.
would do. You got to dig deep, man. You got to show me that you're that soldier that I know you are.
Yeah.
You got to do it, man.
Show me some heart, says John Bray, and here is what happened. Look at this. Big left hand, a counter, and that started it all. And down went a little wobble, and watch this knockdown all the way across the ring goes Big Lance Whitaker. The bigger they are in boxing, many times, the harder they fall. Look at this. Whack. Little wobble. Sultan saw it. He tried to close the show, and he put Whitaker on the canvas.
Seconds out.
Whitaker's like, where are my legs? Come back here.
Well, that was round number 6, the third knockdown of Lance Whitaker in this fight. We're now headed into round number 7. Sultan Ibragimov in the red trunks, the 30-year-old former silver medalist, undefeated as a pro in 18 fights against Lance Whitaker, the 33-year-old perennial contender who's been a contender in the heavyweight division since 1999. Can ill afford another loss. We're talking about he's in trouble.
Only 2.
Good straight left hands by Ibragimov. And absent is the talking from Lance.
Yeah, there it is. Low blow. Gotta keep him up.
1 point below the belt. 1 point below the belt. 1 point below the belt. I don't want to see no more. No more warnings. Points from here on. Come on, Sultan. Let's go.
A point deducted by Telis Asiminos. Well, that helps a bit for Lance Whitaker, that's for sure. Now, there have been a number of punches that have strayed low from Ibragimov, and he has gotten some warnings from Asiminos.
And again, remember what I said earlier in this fight? Oh, good. Right hook. Going downstairs.
Whitaker trying to counter with the right as Ibragimov lands some big punches. Now, Ibragimov is winning this round, make no mistake, so with the point deducted, it might well be an even round. Ibragimov would love a knockdown to get himself a 1-point win in this round. Even point being deducted.
And it's a 10-point must, remember. You know, I talked about the low blow because of the height difference of these two fighters and the height of Lance Whitaker at 6'8". You really got to concentrate to keep your punches up above the belt. Both of them winging. Big punches, look at that. Ibragimov.
Sultan Ibragimov often leaves himself open for punches, but the reason people can't hit him is because he's throwing so many combinations that Whitaker's in some trouble right now. He's getting nailed with some big shots.
And he may be cut. He's wiping at his forehead, but he's got a cut up there in his eyebrows. Whitaker is. Time.
Doctor. I need doctor.
They're looking at it.
Let's hear what they have to say. In fact, the doctor sitting next to us is headed up.
I came from a punch.
It came from a punch. Did you hear the referee? Telis told us.
It looks like okay. See, all right? He can fight. Larry? Larry? Let's go.
You want to keep going? Done?
I'm going to stop like, hey, you 50 minutes.
He's saying he wants to stop.
Well, there it is. It's over.
Lance Whitaker not super anxious to continue. That cut in a very bad spot, and I think he was more than amenable to the idea that this fight might be stopped. It is. Sultan Ibragimov gets himself an exciting win over Lance Whitaker in what turned out to be a very entertaining heavyweight matchup. And for that man, Ibragimov, at age 30, he feels he's poised to make a move in the heavyweight division.
And really a good win for Sultan, and he climbs the mount. Now, many people will take him serious in this boxing heavyweight division. He goes to 19-0, and that was pretty impressive. He started off knocking his opponent down in the first, the second round, then again in the 5th round, and really did a lot. He inflicted a lot of damage.
Lance Whitaker, the highest profile name among the victims of Sultan Ibragimov. And Nick Charles will be talking to him in a little while, and we'll find out a little bit about who he might be fighting next. But let's look back and see these 3 knockdowns, Sean.
And there is the first, down to the seat of his pants. And again, the overhand left is the punch that did the damage there. And here's another one. Look at this wobble. all the way across the ring. This is my favorite knockdown. Wing. And Lance gets up. He's got a smile on his face, but he's getting hit.
All right, so we'll get the official word on this from Bob Alexander.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Hard Rock Live Arena here at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, the referee in charge, Teles Asamino, stops this bout. Lance Whitaker unable to continue due to a cut over the eye. The time, 2 minutes, 1 second of round number 7. He is now the IBF International and still the WBO Asian Pacific Heavyweight Champion. Your winner, Sultan Ibragimov.
So this fight lived up to the press conference, and Sultan Ibragimov wins in a very exciting fashion with the 7th